Hello. We're Team NoDZ, and we will today do our speech about problems of abnormal adherence for university entrance in Korea. And we will do our presentation in this hierarchy. So, something has changed, so I'll do the first introduction for the speech. So, hello everyone, I'm Sang-won Park, and as we are all SNU students, we know that we all study hard throughout our elementary and middle and high school life. And I'm pretty sure that almost everyone sitting here, had their top priority of entering the SNU in your high school life. Of course, because SNU is called the best university in Korea. And I'm also sure that not everyone in here, but also the other people out there, mostly thought that entering these good university is their most top priorities in their high school life. I'm not saying that this is a bad situation because it's natural, but in Korea, this abnormal adherence is getting too high. So, if you see this table, you can see that among the OECD countries, how much these parents expect the child to complete their university degree is highest in the Korea, like 85%. So this can be criticized in many ways, like this New York Times article. It was written in 2013, and it is criticizing how Koreans are crazy about their university entrance. You can see this, our thinking is rigorous, and these higher ranked universities is destroying our lives. So, as you can see, this problem is very important in our country, and we divided these into three aspects. And Hasan will introduce the first one.
I'm going to talk about the first aspect of this problem, that hard to find our talent. As you were in high school last year or something, I think you guys may have some empathetic feelings of this problem. First, as you know, our Korean curriculum has 6 years of elementary school, 3 years of middle school, and also 3 years of high school. And it is total 12 years, but teachers force students to study just important subjects like Korean or math or science. And I also thought about why should I learn this subject. So this is the biggest aspect of Korean education. As you can see in this picture, this is Daechi City, and you can see all academic schools are prevailing all the buildings, and this is the natural phenomenon caused by some importance of high school education. And I think this is not a bad one, but every student, I think some of students are not interested in studying, but just urged by parents or friends. So it is the most problem, and I think they couldn't find their real talent like that way. Then how can we find our own confident talent in Korea? I think the first way to find our talent is to go to job world in, I can say Yongin or everywhere. But as you can see in this picture, it is translated to Korean job world is not that very good for get experience. Really, I think it is hard to find our talents, and because it is too minimized to test our real aptitude or some activity. Also, this is the survey done in 2016. We can focus on these middle school and high school groups. they say like I'm worried about my future and don't know what I'm good at. So because I'm afraid of my university entrance, so they are really worried about their future. About 64% of all. And to make the point clear, we students, middle or high school students, feel some hardship to find their talent, and now I give you some, suppose some realistic solution. I think first, the key point is increase future class in curriculum making. We need to set really sincere future subject teacher. So, and also increase the future class times and really sincerely think about students' future, and teachers give the real feedback with that class. So this can be given up to the score of Korean students' practice assessment. And also students should find their attitude with various ways with this future class, and students should actively encourage the job part by themselves in the class. Also, we need to add practice assessment because they can experience many things and things. This was the first aspect of my problem.
Okay, thank you, Hasan. And I'll introduce the second aspect of our problem, which is entrance-oriented education. So, as you can see in this curriculum, though it's a little bit old-fashioned as you can see in these survey classes, you can see that most of the classes are just mainly about what we call the main subjects, which are math and English and Korean. And of course, these main subjects are important because they are vital for our basic abilities. But if they get too emphasized, then the other subjects can be too ignored. Actually, I'm not from the high school type of we study just Korean and English and math, but other students, other my friends of the normal high school said that they usually study their own other subjects in their PE classes or music classes when they're in third grade. So as you can see in this article, 3 out of 4 high schools make the students study other things in their PE class. Now this is something that is very serious. And another point is that students try to learn subjects that are not the subjects that are needed for their major, but the subjects that are easy to enter the school. This is the notice about the basis of physics in SNU. And as you can see, in 2019, the basis of physics class has been increased because SNU decided that the more and more freshmen became less better and in the physics class. So as you can see, many people entering the school, especially in these engineering classes, engineering schools, they didn't have enough basic physics knowledge to listen to the just physics 1 class. So this can be a serious problem. And next. And also in the Korean SAT, many people just sometimes don't even apply for the subjects that are needed for their major. For instance, these people work in my major, the electrical engineering. There are some people who don't even study physics for their Korean SAT, and I'm not sure of these 문과 subjects, but I heard that in the economic major, there are students that didn't apply for the economics tests on the Korean SAT. So how can we solve them? These basic problems of entrance-oriented entrance-oriented problems cannot be solved without the basic change of the Korean SET or some other kind of appliance for the universities. So I have thought of two methods, which are, first one is the subject regulation for the major. Like, as I said, these engineering classes demand the students to listen to physics class, and economic major demands them to listen to economics. And the second one is the expansion of university managed tests. I know that early admission, which is sushi, has many problems, and preliminary examinations, which were Bogimusat, has been deprecated in Korea because they had too many private tutoring problems. But at least expansion of these two methods can make university evaluate the students as they want to, and I think that can be more better to their own students. Now, this was the second point of this problem, which is entrance-oriented education, and the Hiso will introduce the third aspect of our problem.
Thank you, Samba. And I am Isa Choi, who will talk about aspect 3. I will talk about mental problems. Have you seen Sky Castle?
Yes.
If you watch the drama, you will see the pyramid. The main character yells at his two sons to climb up to the top of the pyramid, and there was even a moment that the son's friend Uju had a hard time, but just the father said it is opportunity to step up on him and you get 1등급. So I think it is the reality of our Korean education. Our society thinks only lawyers or doctors or politicians are the best jobs, and we need universities to have that jobs, and we need 1등급 or that universities. That's why sometimes students want to rest and play. But they are stuck in 야자실 and just study all day long. So nevertheless, when the resultant performance is bad, the mental stress that comes from it is very enormous. Also, it is easy to make friends competitors to each other. Also, some success-oriented families may not treat their children personally, so they can hurt them or make them less well. Last but not least, a lot of students had a high school life, like I said before, so when they go to college, they just feel like had a sense of freedom, so they get F or they just wander around. So I think these are the very serious problems to them. To solve this problem, I think we need to continue activities that can foster a sense of purpose about what life they want to live after going to the college and high school. It's about thinking about what you want to do in the future, and it's about writing a specific roadmap for what you need to do in order to do that. I also believe that limits should not be made when deciding on university major. Often, if two students want to write same major, very commonly the lower grade student will change to a lower major or application. Therefore, this will also require system improvements, such as helping the student to conduct activities for his or her own admission strategy. And we also believe that we need to improve our counseling system. I don't mean professional counselors here. I think seniors who just went to college should be main agents of the counseling, because they can give more realistic advice, because they've been thinking a lot about how to relieve stress while they were just experiencing the entrance exam. And finally, I think the process of transitioning the high school evaluation system from relative evaluation to absolute evaluation system is necessary. Under the absolute evaluation system, I think friends can study more together and spread the culture of sharing. So it is not a high school, but Yonsei University in College of Medicine also has a success story about transitioning from relative to absolute evaluation system. So these were our solutions, and Hae-sang will talk about conclusion.
As you can see, we can find the three aspects to these three. So we introduced some combination of really many solutions, and we think the solutions should be adapted in our school. But as you can think about, maybe these solutions are not the fundamental solution for Korean parents or students' recognition for studying. If you have any really good solution for this problem, you can say this for discussion time.
So these were our presentation, and now we'll talk about our discussion. We prepared 3 questions, and firstly, do you think there are differences in education between Korea and other countries?